Hello, a very good morning, students. This is your English teacher Rohit sir giving you today's lecture video class on chapter number 5 from class 12 English Vistas book. The story Should Wizard Hit Mommy? Written by John Updike. The headlines what we are to get in today's class like introduction about the author, summary of the story, and the impact to the main character as concluded. As the number of COVID 19 cases is rising fast in several parts of the country, we appeal to the listeners to be vigilant and to get fully vaccinated and help others, including children between 15 to 18 years, get vaccinated with the new Omicron variant of coronavirus causing concern. Please continue to follow these three simple steps to stay safe. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 गज की दूरी for social distancing, and focus on hands and face hygiene. For any COVID related information and guidance, contact National Helpline numbers 011 23978046 and 1075. And now the class in detail. About the author, John Howard Updike, March 18, 1932 to January 27, 2009. It was his lifetime. He was an American novelist, poet, short story writer, art critic, and literary critic. So he has all the qualities within him. One of the most important things like his quality for writing and dedication to the literature through his writings. One of only 3 writers to win the Pulitzer Prize for fiction more than once. Updike published more than 20 novels, more than a dozen short story collections, as well as poetry, art and literary criticism, and children's books during his career. From here, we come to know about his too much dedication and quality to the literary world, and such a person is really impossible to have within us. He was one of the demanding literators in his lifetime in America. So we salute him for his outstanding contribution for literary works. To start the story, first we have the introduction to the lesson. Here, the main character, the little girl, who is Jo, has clearly been focused parallelly in the story with the another character of the story, like Roger Skunk. And the difficult moral question she raises during the story session with her father. The summary goes like the story starts with the daily routine that Jack had been following for 2 years with his daughter. Joe, his daughter was 2 years old when the tradition started, and today she was 4 years old. So it means that the story telling session has not been started from that time. It has been started since Joe was 2 years old till she is 4 years old. Continuously, it was going on, and it took 2 years parallelly. The tradition was that Jack would tell Joe a story out of his mind every day, in the evening before going to bed, and also on every Saturday afternoon during her nap time. Joe, the issue was that it had been so long that he had been telling her stories that he did not have any good ideas for stories left with him. It was going on with the same story when Joe's father has started the storytelling session. So the theme of the story is same, but the character is different. Sometimes it is fish, sometimes it is squirrel, or sometimes it is chipchunk. So by changing the character of the story, Joe's father kept remaining the theme of the story parallelly. He didn't change the theme of the story except the characters. Even Joe didn't sleep during the story sessions anymore. Joe every day, so every day when he used to tell her a story, the basic plot of the story used to be same, revolving around Roger, an animal who used to change every day. Roger used to have a problem, and he would approach the wise owl for help, who would send him to the wizard. Not changing the theme of the story, Joe's father changes the characters, but the master of the problem solution is owl only. Whenever the character is facing any problem, there is the problem solver called owl. So owl is also set in his stories as usually for help to the main character. So in the story, owl suggests the character to go to the wizard, who is a magician, can solve the main character's problem possibly. The wizard would solve Roger's problem but ask for more pennies than Roger had, and would also give him a solution to go fetch the pennies from a specific place. Now, when the character like Roger Skunk goes to the wizard, wizard demands for the amount, like more pennies. But the amount what the Roger should have was not with him at the moment. So the wizard suggested him to go somewhere or the specific place where he could get the pennies or the amount, and the problem could be solved out. Then Roger would go to that place, fetch the pennies, and would happily go back and play with his friends. After playing happily with his friends, Roger would go back home before it got dark to wait for his father, who would be on his way back from Boston. Then Jack would describe what all Roger and his family had for dinner and then end the story. So, here, after getting solved the problem about the pennies, Roger went back to his place, and from there he went back to his home. Going there, he received his father, who came to meet his family after a long time from Boston. So, in the dinner, they were talking about the family matter or the daily life matter each other. Till here, we come to know that the family members are together to have their dinner in the story. On this specific Saturday afternoon nap, Jack asked Joe that about which creature did she want to hear a story, to which she replies a skunk. So the story goes back again to the beginning. Here, Jack is ready to tell a story to Joe. Joe is the main character of the story named Should Wizard Hit Mommy? And the Jack called here Joe's father. Now, Jack and Joe are together to have their Saturday evening during their nap. Nap is a short time sleep in the daytime. And usually, you know, fathers are busy weekdays except their weekends. Saturday and Sundays are called weekend. So every Saturday, Jack gets time to give her daughter by telling a story in the afternoon nap. This time also, he is available to her daughter and telling a story like Roger Skunk. So, Jack started the story with Roger Skunk, who was a very stinky animal. None of his friends liked to play with him. One day he went to the wise owl and shared his problem. So, this time Jack is telling about the character like Roger Skunk. Skunk is a mammal available in America, Canada side. So here the character like skunk is used with the name Roger. So what happened Roger did? Roger was playing with his friends, but his friends are not ready to play with him just because of the stinky smell from his body arises always all the time. So due to having this bad or stinky smell, they are not ready to play with the character Roger Skunk. None of his friends liked to play with him. One day he went to the wise owl and shared his problem. So facing the problem, he went to the wise owl. For what? To have the suggestion that how he can be out of the body order. Clear? The wise owl then told him to go visit the wizard. So the owl suggested him to go once to the wizard, a magician. Only he can solve his problem. Then the skunk went to the wizard and shared his problem. The wizard then helped him to solve his problem and asked him how he wanted to smell. To this, Roger Skunk replied that he wanted to smell like roses. So, what happened? When he shared his problem to the magician, suggesting by the wild owl, who is wise and very clever, he has been told that what is his wish to remove his bad smell instead of another good smell, because he is very tired and aloof due to having his body odor or stinky smell. So he needs another smell which is very famous and very demanding. So he wishes that he needs the smell like rose, because the flower rose is demanded by everyone because its color, its smell, its feature is different. So he demands that he would have the smell like rose or roses. Did. With the wizard's magic, he started smelling like roses. Then he did not have enough pennies to pay to the wizard. So wizard told him to go to the magic well, turn around 3 times, and he would find 3 pennies there, which he could fetch and give to the wizard. When he shared his demand, like he wants to get the smell like roses as well, the wizard asked about the amount, about the pennies, what he has to pay for his wish. But the sufficient or enough pennies he should not have at the moment. Seeing this all thing, wizard said that okay, no need to be panic because he could get the pennies from somewhere else. The thing is that he has to go and collect from that place. Listening this idea from the wizard, Roger Skunk is ready to go to the place where he could receive the demanded amount or pennies easily. And he went there and received from there, and finally he gave to the wizard just because of the problem what he is carrying over. Then after that, then he did not have enough pennies to pay to the wizard, so wizard told him to go to the magic well, turn around 3 times, and he would find 3 pennies there which he could fetch and give to the wizard. As I told you that ultimately he was succeeded to receive the pennies and given to the wizard. The skunk did exactly what was told and got the wizard his pennies. Later he went out and all the other animals gathered around him as he was smelling very good. But when he went home, his mother did not like the smell and asked who had made him smell like that. Although it is solved the problem like the play with his friends, but the problem what he received after getting him into his home. His friends are very happy to have him with his good smell like rose. Okay, it's very good for them. They were very astonished and pleasant to have him with good smell like rose. But for the person who is from his family, like his mother, is not ready to accept his son with the smell like rose, because she thinks that the smell what they receive, what the species like skunk receive, is given by the god, is the grace of god, so it should have naturally. So for that only, Skulk's mother was not ready and tell him to go and be like the previous smell. That is the reason that his mother was send him to the magician once again. Roger Skunk told the whole story to his mom, and his mother said that she liked his smell earlier and he smelled the way a little skunk was supposed to smell. So then the skunk told his mom that the other animals run away from him because of the foul smell, but his mom said that she didn't care. She took him right back to the wizard, and as soon as the wizard opened the door, she gave him one on blow his head with her umbrella, and the wizard changed the skunk's smell and he smelled foul again. So ultimately, Skunk's mother was taken to the wizard, and when the wizard opened the door after getting the knocks over the door, the mother of the character, like Skunk, hit her umbrella over the wizard's head. Getting the hit from Skunk's mother, the wizard was ready to change Skunk again like his previous smell. And finally, Roger Skunk got his previous smell once again. Then, after that, while going back, the skunk heard the train coming. His father was coming on that train. They had dinner together. When the skunk was about to sleep, his mother came to him and told him that she loved him the way she was and there was no need to change. So, after that, what happened? After long days, Roger Skunk's father came from Boston to meet them. They had their dinner together. After that, Roger Skunk's mother came to him and told him that her mother loved him a lot. Whatever the smell is, good and bad, but she would always love her son all the time and forever. The story ended there. Then, after that, the story ends over there, told by the father of Joe. Then Joe asked her father whether the animals ran away from the skunk after that, to which he replied, no, all of them had now got used to the. Sorry, I repeat the line once again. All of them had now got used to the way she smelled. Joe did not like the way Skunk's mother forced him and made him smell foul again. So, after ending the story, now some questions arisen from the character Joe. Joe asked some question to her father that why Skunk changed his wish due to his mother demand. Actually, Joe wanted to tell that the story should not have like that. The story should not have ended with the positive agreement of Roger Skunk's mother. It should have ended with the hit of the Roger Skunk's mother instead of the wizard. So, like this, Joe asked and argued her father, and her father made her understand that it is the theme of the story, and there is no change whatever Joe thinks to do or it should have. Clear? Then after that, she wanted that her father should tell her another story the next day in which the wizard hits mommy back and refuses to change the skunk smell back. Then Jack told her that he would see, and the main point of the story was that the skunk loved his mother more than any other animal in the woods, and that mommy knew what was right for him. So, next day, Joe demanded to tell another story where the Roser skunk would hit his mother and keep his wish inside him. But the father, means the father of Joe, was was not ready to change the climax of the story. He said that Roger Skunk loved her mother. Roger Skunk loved his mother a lot, and that's why Roger Skunk was ready to get his mother advice or wish. Seeing or listening these all things, Joe was not happy with the climax of the story. He then told her to sleep as her baby brother was also sleeping. He then closed the door and went downstairs. Ultimately, actually, we know that fathers tell stories to their children just because of sleep only. But there is no use of telling story to Joe because Joe was not sleeping. Though Jack was thinking it was the end of the story and Joe is ready and already she is sleeping. But actually she was not sleeping. She is listening everything and doing drama to close her eyes. And when her father closed the door and went downstairs, she suddenly woke up and asked for another story. His wife was painting the chair rail. He heard some footsteps above and then scolded Joe. The footsteps painted, the footsteps fainted. The Clary, then Clary asked him that it was a long story, and to that he replied, "The poor kid." So after that, actually, Clary is Joe's mother. She was doing something and was very angry with the behavior of her daughter. So Clary demanded that it is not right to tell the story again and again just because of Joe's demand. Then he watched his wife do the painting and working but was very tired to help her. Actually, mm Clary, Joe's mother, was a good painter or a paint artist, and she was painting that time when Jack came from his office. But he was not able to help him because already Jack was tired. Also, he thought that their marriage was not in a good state and also that there was no solution to it. He also said that he did not feel like talking to her nor touching her. So, here at the end, the mentality of Joe's father has been shown that she is very capable to solve her problem herself. And for that, Jack did not realize that he should talk about any help to his wife as not needed. So from here we come to know that Jack is very careful and lovable husband, and Clary is also pregnant because she is becoming third time mother, and for that she is doing painting and all to do time pass for the upcoming news. So that's all for the story what we come to know from here. Then students, we have this much for today. Hope you could get the story well and there would be no issue regarding it. Till then, keep practicing and keep learning. Thank you.